मोहन स्टार्ट में कर તમારી બોટલી
સેટ કરવાનો
લાઈન કરશે ને ભાઈ લાઈન
લે તું લઈ લો તો આમ બાજુમાં જે લેન્સ મોડો નાખી દેવું પડશે લેન્સ મોડો નાખવો પડશે નહીં ચાલે બ્રાઇટનેસ થોડી વધારે છે ને એટલે લો લેન્સ માં એટલું બધું ના
ક્લિયર લે જાય
અહીંયા ઘટો છે લખી દે મોટો લેન્સ હું કેટલા
કઈ દે brightness not disturb
हम सेट करेंगे
hello hello
Hello.
Riten sir, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now check it. I am setting the camera.
Okay, sir.
And how many have joined?
66.
Okay. Is it okay?
Yes, sir, but it look like blur.
Blur. Now tell me.
Maybe your network is poor.
No, network is okay. There is no problem with the network. Still it's look blur.
Yes, sir.
Now is it okay then sir?
Looking blur, sir.
Blur देखा है 1 minute. नेटवर्क पे विचार चलो आज बोल जो
हाँ, sir. 2 minutes. Let me ask someone. Blur, sir. Blur दिखाई sir.
1 minute. Now
Same, sir. No change. Maybe your network is poor.
1 minute. Wait for 1 minute. What can I do now? Since the network is full, I don't know why it's like this. But again, I am setting. Volume full.
Improving network.
1 minute. Huh? કંઈક દબાઈ ગયું છે અહીં કંઈક શું દબાઈ દીધું go back now check it.
Improve થાય છે સર. Done.
Done.
Okay. Set બી થઈ ગયું છે.
Okay, no problem.
No problem. You can start, sir.
Okay. Now, the next topic is configuration. What is configuration? When your carbon atom is surrounded by 4 different atoms or a group of atoms in 3-dimensional, then it is said to be configuration. Or you can say like this. Spatial arrangement of functional groups. Spatial arrangement of functional group around the carbon atom. Is called configuration. Is called configuration, right? I'll give you one example. You can take here bromine. You can attach with here chlorine. Here you can attach iodine, and here you can attach hydrogen. So see, the arrangement of functional group in space, spatial arrangement of functional group around carbon atom means arrangement of this functional group in space around the carbon atom is called configuration. Is called configuration. Now, if I put a mirror over here, and let me see what is a mirror image of this. Carbon will remain as carbon here, bromine here, but in mirror image, this will be seen like this. So chlorine will be on opposite side, right? So chlorine will be here. Same way, iodine will be on opposite side. So iodine will be here. And your H will go on opposite side. It is on this side, it will go on that side. I can write like this, iodine, and here your hydrogen is there. So you can see now, these are the 4 different atoms or a functional group, right? Bromine atom, bromine functional group, chlorine atom, iodine, hydrogen, hydrogen is an atom. So this 2 arrangement is said to be configuration. Now, these are mirror image of each other. The name can be bromo, chloro, iodomethane, bromo, chloro, iodo, and there is 1 carbon, so it is methane. So these bromo, chloro, iodomethane have 2 configurations, and both are mirror image of each other. So this is called configuration. This you have to remember. Both the structures are differing in the spatial arrangement, means arrangement of functional group in space. Otherwise, both are mirror images of each other. They are both the compounds. Actually, both are not the compounds. They are spatial arrangement, and they are of the same compound. So this is one of the topic, configuration. Riten sir.
Yes sir. 2 minutes.
Okay.
Screen blur થઈ ગઈ.
Again it is blur.
Yes sir. 2 minutes. Maybe now clear sir.
Okay, okay, then no problem. Taken a screenshot?
Yes sir.
Okay. Now, the most important aspect of stereochemistry. So, stereochemical aspect of the next topic is stereochemical aspects of nucleophilic substitution reactions, which we have discussed yesterday. So now we have to discuss about the stereochemical aspects of nucleophilic substitution reaction. Before going into detail, you have to study some stereochemical principles and some basic concepts, right? So let me start one by one about the stereochemical principles and some notations. We'll start with the first one. Ordinary light. The stereochemical aspect is a most important topic. Every year they are asking in the exam, especially for competitive examinations, right? So what is ordinary light? First of all, you should know what is ordinary light. Ordinary light, or you can say monochromatic light. Now, what is ordinary and monochromatic light? I'll write the definition here. Light which oscillates in all possible direction. So the light which oscillates in all possible direction is called ordinary light. I'll show you the diagram. Right? So this is ordinary light or monochromatic light. It oscillates in all possible direction, right? All possible direction. Clear? Second is plain polarized light. Now, what is plane polarized light? Light which oscillates in a single plane. Light which oscillates in a single plane, or you can say in one direction. If I compare the light, plane polarized light with ordinary light, here it is in all possible direction, then here it will be in one direction. I will show you the diagram. See, here the light is oscillating in a single plane, right? But here light oscillates in all possible directions. So this is the difference between ordinary light and plane polarized light. Now, how you can prepare plane polarized light? When ordinary light is allowed to pass through Nicol prism, then it oscillates in a single plane. So that is important. So next point is, I am writing here. When ordinary light is allowed to pass through Nicol prism, when ordinary light is allowed to pass through Nicol prism, then it oscillates in a single plane, right? And when it oscillates in a single plane, your ordinary light is being converted to plane polarized light. I can show you the diagram. This is the diagram. This is your ordinary light. Clear? When this light is allowed to pass through Nicol prism, then this light, after passing through it, it will look like this. So this is your PPL, plane polarized light. It oscillates in a single plane. This is ordinary light. So when ordinary light is allowed to pass through Nicol prism, it oscillates in a single plane, right? So this, they can ask you in MCQ also, that how to convert ordinary light into plane polarized light.
Done, sir.
Okay. Now, third point. Optical activity. Now, what is optical activity? when plane polarized light is allowed to pass through a solution of certain compounds, then that solution will rotate the plane polarized light. It may rotate the plane polarized light in clock direction. It may rotate the plane polarized light in anti-clockwise direction. Then it is said to be optical active compound. And the phenomena is known as optical activity. So I am writing here. What is optical activity? When PPL, I will write in short, plane polarized light is allowed to pass through when plane polarized light is allowed to pass through a solution of certain compounds, then they rotates the plane of plane polarized light in clockwise or anti-clockwise. Direction. Clear? So when you are passing the plane polarized light through a solution of certain compounds, then that compound will rotate the plane of plane polarized light in clockwise or anti-clockwise direction. Such compounds means the compound which rotates the plane of PPL are called optical active compounds. Such compounds are called optical active compounds. And the phenomenon, the phenomenon is called optical activity. The phenomenon is called optical activity. So this you have to remember. When you pass a plane of plane polarized light through a solution of certain compounds, then it will rotate the plane of plane polarized light either in clockwise or in anti-clockwise direction. Right? Then such compounds are said to be optical active compounds, and the phenomena is called optical activity. Now, the angle of rotation of plane polarized light is measured by an instrument. The angle of rotation of plane polarized light is measured by an instrument called polarimeter. So this they are asking in MCQ. Yes, short question. The angle of rotation, I told you it will rotate the plane polarized light. How much the plane polarized light is being rotated? At what angle it is being rotated, in clock or anti-clock? It is measured by an instrument called polarimeter. So this you have to remember. Next point is, if the plane polarized light is rotated in clockwise direction, or you can say right side. If the plane polarized light is rotated in clockwise direction, yeah, right side, then the compound is called dextro. Then that compound is called dextro, right? It's a Greek word. When the rotation is carried out for right, dextro means right side. right side rotation is called dextro in Greek. That's why that compound which rotates the plane of plane polarized light on right side here clockwise, it is said to be dextro. Right? Symbol is small d, or you can write plus sign in bracket. This indicates dextro. Your optical active compound is dextro. Next is, if the plane polarized light is rotated in anti-clockwise direction, that is called left side. That is called left side. Then it is called, it is means the compound is called levo rotatory. This is dextrorotatory, this is levo rotatory. Clear? In Greek word, this is also a Greek word. Left side rotation. The symbol is small l, or it can be represented by minus sign. Minus sign indicates the rotation is in anti-clockwise. Plus sign indicates that the rotation is in clockwise. Clear? So this dextro and levo is called racemic mixture. Dextro and levo are optical isomers of each other, and 50-50% mixture of dextro and levo is called racemic mixture. So this is again an important point, that dextro and levo, they are optical isomers of each other. Dextro is an optical isomer of levo. Levo is an optical isomer of dextro. But if you take 50-50% equal proportion of mixture of dextro and levo, then that mixture is racemic mixture, which is optically inactive. It is optically inactive. While dextro is optically active, levo is optically active. But the mixture, once you take a 50% mixture of dextro and levo, then the rotation of 50% of dextro right side and levo left side will be cancelled out. And as a result, the compound becomes optically inactive.
Done, sir. Done, sir.
Written, sir?
Done, sir.
Okay. Now, the next topic is molecular asymmetry. Molecular asymmetry, then you can say chirality, and enantiomers. Enantiomers. So these three topics we have to study. Molecular asymmetry, chirality, and enantiomers. All these topics are very much important. So you have to remember all these things. Now in the year 1848, the scientist Louis Pasteur in 1 minute. Sorry. In 1848, scientist Louis Pasteur showed that the crystals of certain compounds, the crystal structures of certain compounds are in form of mirror images. They are in form of mirror images, which leads to the formation of modern stereochemistry. So the concept of modern stereochemistry was given by Louis Pasteur. He showed that the crystals of certain compounds, they are in form of mirror images of each other, right? And based on this concept of mirror images, a concept of modern stereochemistry was developed, right? Now, in modern stereochemistry, the aqueous solution of both the crystal structures were taken. The aqueous solution of both the crystal structures were taken, right? Both the structure means what you will write? Mirror image. So the aqueous solution of both crystal structures, that is, you can say mirror image. Mirror images, where pass through PPL, means plane polarized light, right? When they pass through this, optical rotation takes place. Means they have rotated the plane polarized light. One may be in clockwise, another may be in anti-clockwise direction. And optical rotation occurs, and the difference in optical rotation was carried out. It was found that are they rotating the plane polarized light in same direction? No, they were rotating the plane polarized light in opposite direction, but the magnitude was equal. The magnitude was equal. That you have to remember, right? Now, the next point in this is another scientist, Dutch scientist. The name of the Dutch scientist was J. Van Hoff. And the French scientist Lee Bell. These two, you have to remember the name. Lee Bell and J. Van 't Hoff, French scientist and Dutch scientist. Both of them in the same year independently argued that the special arrangement of 4 valency is tetrahedral. Both argued that special arrangement of 4 functional group around carbon atom is tetrahedral. The arrangement of 4 functional group in space around the carbon atom, it was tetrahedral, and that was being argued by both the scientists, Dutch scientist J. Van 't Hoff and French scientist Lee Bell. It is C. Lee Bell. You can write C. Lee Bell, right? So this is important. Now I can give you an example of here. The earlier example which we have taken, but I will take another example. COOH, OH, CH3, H. Right? This is called, see, 3 carbon, 1, 2, 3, and COH group, propanoic acid and 2 hydroxy. So this is called 2 hydroxy propanoic acid, right? If this is dextro, D, or you can say plus, then another mirror image, it will be like this. This will go on this side, right? Then CH3, H will go here. This is also same compound, so this will be LiVo. L oblique, you can say minus sign. So here you can see here the aqueous solution of both the crystal, that is mirror images, when they are passed through plane polarized light, one will rotate the plane polarized light in clockwise. If it rotates in clockwise, it is dextro. If it rotates in anti-clockwise, it is called LiVo, right? And both these structures of mirror images of a same compound was argued that the special arrangement of 4 functional group, 1, 2, 3, and 4, this is hydrogen atom, right? That is around the central carbon atom is tetrahedral. So that was being argued by the 2 scientists, Dutch scientist J. Van 't Hoff and French scientist C. Lee Bell. Just this is for your information.
Done, sir.
Okay. Now, the most important part which they are asking in the exam. Now, next topic is about asymmetric carbon atom. Here we have written molecular asymmetry, right? So I will write here asymmetry, carbon. Now what is asymmetric carbon? Or you can say chiral carbon. Asymmetric carbon or chiral carbon. Now what is the simple definition of chiral carbon? When four different atoms oblique group of atoms, when four different atoms or group of atoms are attached to central carbon, then it is called asymmetric carbon. Or chiral carbon. Some may pronounce as chiral, right? But actually it is chiral carbon. So what is chiral carbon? If four different atoms or a group of atoms are attached to the central carbon, then it is said to be chiral carbon, right? And if, as all are different, it is not symmetry, it is asymmetric, right? You can take an example. Lactic acid, the earlier example we have done it. I can write it, the structure. COOH, OH, Ca3H. See now, is this carbon attached with four different atoms or a group of atoms? This is atom, but these are a group of atoms. So this is chiral. And by asterisk, you can show the symbol that it is chiral carbon. Yeah, chiral center, right? Another example you can take. Chlorofluorobromomethane. Yeah, bromo, alphabetically chloro, fluoro, methane. Right? What will be the structure? Structure will be like this. This is bromochlorofluoromethane. This carbon is also attached with four different atom or a group of atom. So it is chiral. So based on this topic, they are asking the questions, right? Asymmetric carbon is optically active and they are not superimposable. And they are not superimposable. This is important point. They are not superimposable on their mirror image. They are not superimposable on their mirror image. Clear? So what type of questions are asked, that you have to remember? First, asymmetric carbons are optically active. They are not superimposable on their mirror image. This is a most important point. Now, what type of questions are asked in the exam? Which of the following compound is optically active? Right? Options will be given. Two chloropropane, B, 1 chloropropane, C, 2 chlorobutane, and D, 1 chlorobutane. Now this type of questions they are asking. So many questions have been asked based on this optical activity. Clear? So how to decide? For that you should be able to write the structures. Once you are able to write the structure, you can find out the answer. Let us see what is the correct answer. I'll first write the structure of 2 chloropropane. Right? 1, 2, 3. Propane means 3 carbon. Chlorine, 2 chloro. So I have written chlorine at second carbon. Now satisfy the valency. Now look to this carbon. Is this carbon attached with 4 different atom or a group of atom? No. 2 are Ca3. So this is not optically active. This is called optically inactive. Optically inactive. Clear? So this is not your answer. Let me do the second one. A is not a correct answer. B. What is B? 1 chloropropane. I'll write that structure. CH3, CH2, CH2, Cl. Check. None of the carbon is optically active. See, this carbon is attached with 2 hydrogen. So two same group. Yeah, 2 same atoms. So not possible. Here also 2 same. Here 3 same. So this is also not optically active. Optically inactive. Right? Then let me take the third compound. What is the third compound? C, 2 chlorobutane. I'll draw the structure. 2 chlorobutane. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 carbon butane. 2 chloro. Then satisfy the valency. Here CH3. Here CH2. Here CH3 and here H. Now look to this carbon. Is this carbon asymmetric? Because 4 different groups are attached. Yeah, atoms are attached. One is ethyl, another is methyl, third is chlorine, and fourth is hydrogen. So when all 4 different atoms or a group of atoms are attached to asymmetric carbon, yeah, chiral carbon, then the compound is optically active. So this compound is optically active. Right? And let us check the D option, whether it is correct or not. 1 chlorobutane. Butane means 4 carbon. 1, 2, 3, 4 and Cl. If I check this carbon, then it is attached with 1 chlorine and 1 propyl group. 2 are different, but 2 are same. So it is not a chiral carbon. None of them is chiral carbon. So what is asymmetric carbon? What is chiral carbon? Is this clear now? So these type of questions are asked. If you refer the previous year's papers, maximum questions are being asked based on optical activity, optical inactivity, yeah, isomers, yeah, asymmetric carbon, asymmetric molecule, right?
Done, sir.
Okay. Now, one more important point for chiral compounds. And that important point is, what about your two hands? Your two hands are mirror image of each other. The right hand and the left hand, both are mirror image. But are they superimposable? No. See, I'm not talking about like this. This is called superimposable. But mirror image can be placed like this, and it is not superimposable. So your two hands are also chiral. Your two hands are also chiral. There are so many alphabets also. If you take the mirror image of them, they will not be superimposed. And those which are not superimposable on their mirror image, they are called achiral. Sorry, chiral compounds. Clear? Now, next topic about achiral. It will be opposite to chiral. So I can write symmetric carbon. See, earlier we have written asymmetric carbon. This is symmetric carbon. Or earlier we have written chiral. This is achiral carbon. See, as it is opposite to that, you might have understood what is now achiral carbon. When four different atoms or a group of atoms are not attached, then they are called achiral. When four different atoms, oblique group of atoms, are not attached to central carbon, then it is called symmetric, or you can say achiral carbon. Clear? You can take an example. 2-chloropropane. Right? This will be your example. 2-chloropropane. You can take like this. Is it 2-chloropropane? Chlorine is at second carbon. If you write the three-dimensional structure of this 2-chloropropane, right, and find out the mirror image, and then find out again mirror image of that compound and try to superimpose, it will be superimposable, right? So here, achiral compounds are superimposable on their mirror image. Achiral compounds are superimposable on their mirror image. Chiral compounds are not superimposable on their mirror image. Then chiral compounds are asymmetric. Achiral compounds are symmetric. Next point. Achiral compounds are optically inactive. Again, this is an important point. Optically inactive. See, chiral compounds are optically active, right? These are optically inactive. So this point you have to remember, that which is chiral, which is achiral. Chiral compounds are asymmetric. Achiral compounds are symmetric. Chiral compounds are not superimposable on their mirror image. Achiral compounds are superimposable on their mirror image. Chiral compounds are optically inactive. Chiral compounds are optically active. Achiral compounds are optically inactive. So I'll write the summary. Right. If you want an example that's superimposable on their mirror image, I can take an example. What is the mirror image of O? It will be O only. It is superimposed, right? Then mirror image of W, it will be W. Then mirror image of A, it will be A. You can superimpose. So then these alphabets, if you take their mirror image and then try to superimpose, take this O and put it on this, they are mirror image. But they are superimposable, and when they are superimposable, then these alphabets, they are called achiral compound. Yeah, achiral atoms, right? So this you have to remember. Now I'm writing the note, and that you have to remember. The note is chiral compounds are asymmetric compounds. They are not superimposable on their mirror image. They are not superimposable on their mirror image and optically active. Remember this point. Same way, achiral. It is opposite. Achiral, you can see it is symmetric. Here it is not superimposable. Here it is superimposable. Right? On their mirror image. And this is optically active. This is optically inactive. So these 2 points you have to remember.
Done, sir.
Okay. Now, based on these two, chiral and achiral, we'll take some examples, not alphabetical order, we'll take some organic compounds. Some common examples of chiral and achiral compounds. Here you can say objects. Okay, I'll take 2 examples. First is propane 2-ol. You all know what is the structure of propane 2-ol. Propane means 3 carbon, 2-ol, right? This is the structure of propane 2-ol. Now I'll write in 3D form this structure, right? Now what are the 2 possible structures of 3D? First I'll write this one. Central carbon, right? Now you know all the 4 atoms, a group of atoms are not same. 2 are same and these 2 are different. So looking to this structure, you can say that propane 2-ol is an example of achiral compound. But let us prove it, whether it is superimposable on its mirror image or not. First of all, I will draw this compound, OH on this side, right? Then H here, I'll write it. Then 2 CH3 group, one I will put here, away from the viewer. Another I can put it. So this is one of the structure, propane 2-ol. Clear? Label it as 1. Yeah, you can say A. This is your first structure. Now you draw the mirror image of this. In mirror image, what will happen? You know, this will come here and this will go on this side. So this on right side, it will go on left side. Right? This will go on this side. This is structure B of propane 2-ol only. Right? Now I am drawing the third structure. Now before drawing the third structure, I am rotating this compound at an angle of 180 degree. So when you rotate at an angle of 1 degree, see what will happen in this compound. You can see here now. This will be rotated. This will come at 90 degree, right? So this H will come here, CH3 will come here, this CH3 will come here, and again go it up. So what will happen? Will you get this compound? OH on the right side, H will be here, right? CH3 will be here. All these three structures are of propane 2-ol. Right? Now, rotate. This is mirror image. This is rotated at 180 degree. Clear now? Now, is B a mirror image of A? B is a mirror image of A. So I'll write here. Right? What about C? C is obtained by rotating B at 180. Right? Now, is C superimposable on A? Check. If I take this compound and superimpose on this compound, so you can see here OH. Yes, it is OH. So it is superimposable. CH3, here CH3, here H and OH, CH3H. So if I put this compound on this, it is superimposable. So you can write here, C is superimposable on A. C is superimposable on A. So propane 2-ol. Will it be chiral or achiral? It will be achiral. Right? C is superimposable on A. So propane 2-ol is achiral compound. This you have to remember. Right? See, we have drawn the structures, we have taken the mirror image, we have taken rotated mirror image, and then we have tried to superimpose on it. But it is superimposable. And as it is superimposable, then at the end we have written in the earlier lecture that superimposable mirror images are called achiral compounds. So propane 2-ol is achiral. Another way is also there. You find out the chiral center. Right? And chiral center means 4 different atoms or a group of atoms are attached. Here, 4 different atoms are not there. 2 are same. So automatically you can say it is achiral.
Done, sir.
Okay. Now we'll take another example, butane 2-ol. I will put it all this as it is. I will draw it again. Now take an example of butane 2-ol. You know the structure, butane contains 4 carbon, CH3, CH, CH2, CH3, OH, right? This is butane 2-ol. And look to this carbon. Is it attached with 4 different? Methyl, ethyl, OH, and H. It is attached with 4 different. So looking to the structure, we can say that it is optically active, and optically active compounds are not superimposable on their mirror image. So that we have to prove it, right? And that's why it is chiral compound. The earlier one was achiral. This is chiral. Let me draw the structures. Butane. First, you can take a central chiral carbon, this one. This is a chiral carbon, right? So that I am drawing here. This chiral carbon, it is attached with 4. First, we'll put it OH here. Then we'll take CH3 here, right? Then we'll take H here. And then what is left? OH is here, CH3 is here, H is there, ethyl is left. I can write C2H5, ethyl. Now, ABC, this will be D. Now take the mirror image. Again, your chiral carbon, right? OH. Because as it is a mirror image, this will come here and these all will go on that side, right? So here it will be CH3. Here it will be H. And here it will be C2H5. E. Now, as earlier we have rotated at 180 degree, here also we will rotate at 180 degree. Carry out rotation at 180 degree. This is mirror image. Right? Let me take the third example. Rotation at 180 degree. This will be carbon. Right? Now when you rotate at 180 degree, this will be 90, this will come up. Right? So here OH will be on this side. This will be your chiral. Now important point is, where will be your H? If you rotate 90, this will go up. So this will come here. So C2H5 will go up, right? So can I write here? OH is gone here. So here it will be this will be H, right? Now this will go up. So it will come here. So here it will be C2H5. After C2H5 will come CH3. So CH3 will be here. And after CH3, H. So this is your rotated mirror image. Right? Now, can you say E is a mirror image of D? right? E is a mirror image of D, and F is obtained by rotating E at 180-degree angle. One more point. Is your F superimposable? Check it. OH, OH, H, H. But this is Ca3, this is C2H5. Remember one thing. This is Ca3, this is C2H5. And this is C2H5, this is Ca3. So not superimposable. F is not superimposable on D. Therefore, butane 2-ol is chiral. Butane 2-ol is chiral, propane 2-ol was achiral. So these are the important points you have to remember. Right? Now, the next topic will be,
Done, sir.
1 minute, 1 minute. Don't you have taken the screenshot?
Yes, sir. Let me take second time if you want.
No. If you have taken, then no problem. Already we have done both the examples, so take it quick, no problem. Some other examples are there, but the space was there, but I will write it another way. Okay, have you taken the screenshot?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Some other examples are also given. So Riten sir, there is a space, so can I write it here?
Yes, sir. You can continue.
Okay.
I will take second time.
So what are the other examples of optically active or chiral compound? Here you have written 2-butane 2-ol. So here you can make it 2-chlorobutane. Earlier we have written lactic acid, 2-hydroxy propanoic acid, which is also called lactic acid. Right? That was also an example of chiral compound. Right? Then bromochloroiodomethane. Earlier we have written bromochloroiodomethane. See, in bromochloroiodomethane, all are different. Bromochloroiodo and methane have one carbon and one hydrogen. So all are different. This is an example. Another example, you can take 2-bromo-butanoic acid. Right? If you want to write the formula, I can write CH3, CHBr, CH2COH, 2-bromo. See, this is also a chiral. There are so many examples, but few examples are given in your textbooks. I have written this. So all these are the examples of etc. are chiral compounds.
Shall I, sir?
Yeah.
Done, sir.
Okay. Now, is anyone having any doubt in these structures?
Let me ask, sir.
Nitin sir?
Let me ask.
Okay.
No doubt, sir. No doubt, sir. don't forget.
No doubt, sir. No doubt, sir.
Okay, then we'll stop here. Yeah, you want to continue?
Sir, 2-3 students are asking to stop here.
Okay. Okay, we'll stop here. You can stop the meeting.
Okay, let me end it.